All right, hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. Dylan and Ty back again. We got a few reviews to go through this time around. Ty has a super secret The Marvels review that he's been keeping from me, so I'm finally going to hear his thoughts on that. And then, Ty, did you see The Killer?
I did see The Killer, and
Okay.
I will go as far as say that I really liked one of these movies, and I fucking hated one of the other ones.
Ooh, I wonder if it's going to be surprising. So we're going to review both of those films. Ty, you can go into a full review of The Marvels because I don't care. I'm never going to see it. I also did see The Killer, so we can talk about that. Spoilers and no spoilers. But of course, before all of that, we will get into the upcoming movies of the week, starting off with not even likely. This is the biggest movie of the week, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I honestly don't know much about this story. I've read all of the other books. I have not read this book.
Yeah.
I'm debating reading it before the movie comes out.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I did that with Killers of the Flower Moon, and that
Made it ruined it for you.
It did. So maybe I won't do that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Hunger Games guy, but I'm pretty excited for this one. I don't know if it's like the first Hunger Games, if that's what they're going for, if it's like one of the early Hunger Games or something like that. But it's piqued my interest. I think there are some reviews on it already. They said fuck it, and they just released a couple reviews already. It's at a 53 on Metacritic, and it's at a 67 critic on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's okay so far, I guess.
Yeah, not horrible.
There's probably not a ton of reviews either, but
I do have an answer for you on which Hunger Games that is. So it is going to be the 10th Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
So
Weird
I
to just go back to the 10th and not just the first.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be neat to see how the Hunger Games completely started and stuff like that. But no, this is the 10th Hunger Games. And reading the, I guess, description of this one makes me feel like it should have never been written. But it is about Snow. He mentors and develops his feelings for a female District 12 tribute during the 10th Hunger Games. So obviously, Katniss Everdeen was from District 12. She was obviously a female. And so I feel like they're trying to write backwards of why he had, I don't know, a fascination with her outside of her winning the whole thing and causing problems along the way. I don't know. It feels like it's unnecessary, but here we are. That's how I feel about a lot of movies right now.
Yeah.
So with that said, they did bring back the same director from the other Hunger Games, Francis Lawrence. The only Hunger Games he did not direct was the first one.
Okay.
But some other things, after looking into this dude, he directed Constantine, which I gave a shout out last week.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
He was also another music video dude. So he directed Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy.
Wow.
And Green Day's Warning, along with a ton of other music videos. So he was very involved in that world before becoming a movie director.
Okay, that's actually sick. Usually we take a little bit of time and shit on people for just being music video guys that get a movie shot, but Skater Boy and Warning, I'll take it.
Yeah, you got some fucking bangers in there.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So, and movie as well, Constantine. I love that movie. So I'm hoping it'll be good because the very last, I don't know what it was, Catching Fire Part 2, whatever the Mockingjay Part 2, whatever the final Hunger Games movie was, that sucked.
Yeah.
So hopefully he goes back to making some better films. But this will also be starring Rachel Ziegler. She is kind of up and coming, we can call her.
Yeah.
West Side Story, Shazam, she was involved in that.
Isn't she also going to be the new Snow White?
I heard that too, but then obviously I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I also heard that she won't be after some anger.
Okay.
So I don't know what to expect there. That might be some news we get in the future.
Apparently she's really opinionated on the whole thing and it's causing it. I don't know, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of her in West Side Story. I wasn't a fan of her in Shazam. So 0 for 2 for me so far. Hopefully this does better.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one. I think I will get tickets for Thursday.
Very nice. Next one here, Ty. I believe you talked about this movie. When we were bringing up holiday horror films, we get another one.
Yep.
So this one is just straight up called Thanksgiving. They don't even try to give it some clever name. I can't even think of one. But they can't even come up with a clever name here. It's just Thanksgiving. So after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, which is, of course, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. Um, Again, not a ton here. We'll probably see it just because it's probably very silly.
Oh yeah, I actually can't wait. I might see this one on Thursday and save the other one to see with Tay. Eli Roth, he knows his way around a horror movie. Let me tell you.
And let me also tell you, I didn't know he was the Bear Jew.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Completely had no idea about that. I'm like, man, I know that name. And then when I started digging into it, I'm like, holy crap, there he is.
Donnie Donowitz, baby.
Donnie, oblige him.
He also
Fucking
he produced, he either directed or produced, it was Hostel, Cabin Fever,
yeah.
Grindhouse. So yeah, he's done a lot of horror, so he knows his way around some horror movies. I think he did that one a couple years ago. It was called like The Green Mile or something like that. It was terrifying. It was pretty wild. People in the cab, The Green Inferno. That's what it was.
The Green Inferno.
He was
Green
a
Mile is
producer on
also
that
a
one.
fantastic movie.
Yeah, so he's got his hand in a lot of horror. I don't know if he's directing as much anymore, but he did direct this one. He's produced a lot of horror, so he knows his way around it.
Also, didn't know he is writing the upcoming Borderlands movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there you go. So yeah, you get hope given the guy's done it before.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's decent and not just we don't just get a Winnie the Pooh or something like that. I don't want that.
I listened to him on, it was Bobby Lee's podcast, and the way he talked about this, he just sounded super excited for this one. It was like something that he was excited for it. Like he couldn't wait for this one to come out. Awesome. Apparently in the movie Grindhouse, they make a fake trailer for a Thanksgiving horror movie. So he just took that idea and actually did it.
Love it.
Because he had his hand in Grindhouse as well. So
Grindhouse was a Tarantino thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I never saw that one, so I don't know what its deal is.
I don't remember it either. I remember seeing a ton of trailers, but
it might be a thing of like a couple different movies too, or like something like that. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But Thanksgiving does already have one rating on IMDb. It's got a 6 out of 10. So that's about what I figured it would be.
Oh, you know what it is? So it is 2 movies combined into one, and then they had like you said, the silly like trailers built in between it.
Okay, so is Grindhouse Planet Terror and then Death Proof?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
I've seen Death Proof. I don't think I saw Planet Terror.
I think I need to watch this.
Yeah, that sounds like that has to be long. Oh, it is 3 hours 11 minutes.
Oh, okay, man. I'm gonna have to schedule some time to watch this one, or just do one and then the other.
Yeah, you can probably split it up.
Yeah.
Death Proof was a fun concept. Dude essentially just builds a car that you can't die in.
That's awesome.
So he just purposely runs people down.
Yeah, directed by Robert Rodriguez, Eli Roth, and Quentin Tarantino. That's quite a trio of directors there.
With Rob Zombie writing.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, that's actually pretty damn solid.
That rules. You get Kurt Russell, you get Danny Trejo. Bang. What else could you need?
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a step down from all the excitement we just talked about. Next movie here, Trolls Band Together. Poppy discovers that Branch was once part of the boy band Brozone with his brother Floyd, John, Dory, Spruce, and Clay. When Floyd is kidnapped, what the fuck? Branch and Poppy embark on a journey to reunite his 2 other brothers and rescue Floyd. So this looks stupid as shit.
Right.
It always does. I don't know how these films keep getting made. I honestly don't think kids even like them. It's for like 40-year-old divorced women so they can go watch it and then buy the little troll dolls and put them on their minivan dash. And I don't know.
Quite the voice cast in this one, though, dude. Do you see this?
Right? Yeah. So I have a few names here written down. So Zooey Deschanel, Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, Kenan Thompson. But that's obviously not where the list ends. There's just a shit ton of people in it. Yeah,
I like this Patty Harrison. She's in a bunch of I Think You Should Leave sketches. She's hilarious.
Oh, okay. Patty Harrison. Okay, I gotta look for her. Let me see if I can quickly find her. Where the hell is she at? Do I
She
have
was right
to?
at the top of the list for
Oh, she's
mine.
right at the top. I do see
Yep.
her now. She's Brandy. Okay. Yeah. All right, I recognize her.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
She's also in big. She writes for Big Mouth. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how they pulled together to get all these big names. I guess we can call them like
Yeah,
Eric
like I can't
Andre, Kid
imagine.
Cudi.
I can't imagine that Justin Timberlake is a cheap get for a voiceover role.
Yeah. Well, hey, it might just be all uh, advertising for In Sync for them coming back.
That's true. That's very true.
That might just be what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised these days.
Next film here, Next Goal Wins. I've been hearing a decent amount about this. I think it's actually available to watch in some places at the moment,
Oh, okay.
even though it has not actually released in theaters. So this is called Next Goal Wins, the story of the infamously terrible American Samoa soccer team known for the brutal 2001 FIFA match where they lost 31-0. So absolutely absurd there. You get Taika Waititi
Oh yeah.
writing and directing. He has his hand in a lot of kind of like American Samoa,
Comedy, yeah.
American Indian
Oh
type
yeah, definitely.
films, because he has Reservation Dogs, and I've
Uh-huh.
enjoyed that show quite a bit.
I've heard that was good. I never watched it yet though.
Yeah, pretty good. There's some episodes that are just like poo poo,
Uh-huh.
but overall pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big Taika guy. Everybody just thinks whenever you think of Taika, you just think about well, I do at least. I think of Thor Ragnarok.
Exactly.
Jojo Rabbit though, but yeah, he's got a lot of good movies. I love Jojo Rabbit.
He's cool.
Great.
He's made of rocks.
Yeah, he's cool.
But that will star Michael Fassbender and Elizabeth Moss, which my note right under that is it's an immediate no for me. I have completely barred myself from watching anything that she's involved with.
Yeah, very weird lady she is.
Final one here, Do Not Disturb. I almost didn't include this, but I like trying to find horror films that might surprise us. This might be one of them.
Mhm.
But Do Not Disturb, love is all consuming in this necrotic nightmare crafted by writer-director John Einstein. Do Not Disturb is a psychedelic exploration of love, lust, and carnal desire. So I have no idea what most of that means, but it looked interesting enough.
Yeah, I have no idea either. You know what this is kind of given like Infinity Pool vibes.
Oh shit! Okay. Well, that'd be a good surprise.
Oh, I'd be happy with that for sure. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
I've never heard anything about this one, but it's kind of like it looks like they're at like a resort beach vacation
Mhm.
type thing. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit more horror-y than than Infinity Pool. I just saw her with blood around her mouth and it looked like she took a nice bite out of her husband and killed him or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's coming to theaters. That likely means straight to streaming somewhere. I have not seen exactly where that is gonna drop though.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this now just because horror, it's easy to get into a horror movie. If it's
Mhm.
good, it's okay. And even if it's not great, it's watchable usually.
And you figure a lot of the big budget horror films have been pretty bad. Maybe a low budget one will do better.
Yeah. It's already got 246 reviews on IMDb and it's a 6.9 out of 10, so
Yeah,
that's not terrible.
yeah, that isn't too bad.
Not bad
But
at all.
that's pretty much it here for films. I think we're gonna have another drought here for a bit.
Yeah, I think well, let's see. We got these two this week that are pretty interesting, Thanksgiving and Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, but then
Mhm.
we also have I know we have Napoleon coming up pretty soon.
Next week,
Okay, so that'll be a
November
good one.
22nd.
Um Also, that
Godzilla.
new, yeah, Godzilla minus one, that is going to be sick. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Apparently, that new Pixar movie, or Wish, I don't know if it's Pixar or if it's DreamWorks. It's getting some pretty good reviews already.
Okay.
There's that Silent Night Christmas horror movie. That's funny. But the one I'm most excited for coming up is still the Iron Claw. Remember that one? The
Yeah.
wrestlers.
Yes.
I'm excited for that one.
That does look super interesting. I that's another one where I like want to look up and kind of learn the whole story
Mhm.
because it's true.
Yeah.
But I don't want to ruin anything for myself.
Yeah, I've always heard of like the Von Erichs. I used to watch wrestling, growing up as a kid and all that, but I never really looked too far into it because they're old wrestlers and all I gave a shit about was Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, but yeah,
One
that'll be a good
that
one.
we kind of glossed over here and have talked about just in terms of Oscars is Poor Things.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about Poor Things.
So that might be another
It's a couple
underdog
weeks too.
that shows up.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely have some good ones coming out here. Hopefully, hopefully.
Hi, some exciting news this time around. I found out some of it from a fucking Kevin Bacon TikTok. So let's go from there.
Yeah, we'll start off with the main piece, which I didn't even mention because I just forgot all about it. But the SAG-AFTRA strike is over, so actors are
Woo.
not striking anymore. So that means all the movies that were delayed, and stopped filming because of the strike, pretty much most of them got right back to filming. So negotiators approved a tentative agreement that will end the longest actor strike in film and TV history. It was 118 days. So it technically ended last Thursday. So the deal is going to see the first ever protections for actors against AI, and it's going to give them a historic pay increase, which, they definitely need it, right? But good for them. The deal is going to see most minimums increase by 7%. So that's 2% above the increases received by the Writers Guild and the Directors Guild of America, too. So that's pretty substantial. The deal also includes a streaming participation bonus, according to an email sent to SAG-AFTRA members, as well as increases in pension and health contributions. So the union contract is supposed to be worth more than $1 billion in total.
Damn.
So most TV and film production has been shut down since the writers went on strike 6 months ago. The actors joined the directors, the writers on the picket lines mid-July, shutting down everything except for a few independent films. So that's why a lot of stuff got pushed back, but hopefully now that they're back to production, it won't delay a lot of movies too far. Next thing here, I have a bunch of just random news here. So that's the big piece, but a lot of it is just going to be random. So the next one, you remember the game Bloodborne? Did you ever play Bloodborne?
I have, yes.
A Bloodborne film adaptation is in the works.
Okay.
So the script's going to be written by Darren Lemke, whose previous credits include Goosebumps, Shazam, and Gemini Man. This says, according to a known leaker, a summary for the film is Bloodborne follows the player's character, a hunter, through the decrepit Gothic Victorian era inspired city of, I don't know how the hell to say that, Yarnum, whose inhabitants are afflicted with a bloodborne disease which transforms the residents, called Yarmamites, into horrific beasts. Attempting to find the roots of the plague, the player's character unravels the city's mysteries while fighting beasts and cosmic beings. So I don't know what anybody's talking. That's not a leak. That's just that's the game. That's what you do in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So not much of a leak there, story-wise at least. But yeah, so that sounds like a cool movie. I never played the first Bloodborne game, but I do have it in my library, and I want to play it very badly. Next up, we're getting another Longest Yard remake. So the original starred Burt Reynolds back in 1974, and then most of us will probably recognize the Adam Sandler version from 2005. So that's in the works at Paramount. Rodney Barnes, who is an executive producer on HBO's Winning Time, the Lakers show, he's writing that script. Now we got another video game movie coming out. The Legend of Zelda live action adaptation's coming. So this could be huge. It's in development from Nintendo with the Maze Runner director Wes Ball and the creator of Legend of Zelda. This is gonna be bad. Shigeru Miyamoto.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. So Wes Ball, he helmed the Maze Runner trilogy and the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. So I guess we'll have an idea how that goes once we see it. It's also written by the Jurassic World screenwriter Derek Connolly and produced by Miyamoto, whose involvement in the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Helped making a groundbreaking box office success. So this has potential to be huge.
It does, but I do have to say, after every person, other than obviously the Zelda creator himself, that you said, I got more and more worried.
Right, yeah.
You brought up the Maze Runner director. I've brought up a few times on this show for whatever reason when we talked about him that I walked out of that movie. At least the last one. The first couple were okay. Those were fine. And then oh shit, I am already drawing a blank on the other guy you said. Oh, Jurassic World. Those have been great. And then I think one thing that I don't know if you mentioned, it's a live action.
So that does scare
worries people. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that they would get a more prestige director to go after such a high prestige like film about a like beloved video game series like this.
And after how well the Mario Brothers movie did, why not go animated again?
They should have went animated. I think that's definitely the way to go whenever it comes to
Yeah.
these Nintendo games. I think they might regret doing that. It doesn't seem like live action works out very well for a lot of these that try to go that route. But hopefully it's great. It has potential to be really good if done right.
Yes.
Some of the co-producers though, their credits include every live action Spider-Man movie and all of the Spider-Verse animated films. So that's, I guess, a plus.
Yes.
The film's going to be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony, with more than 50% financed by Nintendo, and Sony is going to handle the theatrical distribution. Next up here, we have a movie coming out that's just called Bad CGI Gator.
Oh no, I have seen this. Okay, yes.
Bad CGI Gator. It's just 6 college grads on spring break. They get a cabin in the swamplands of Georgia. They decide to throw their school laptops in a backyard lake in an act of youthful defiance, which unknowingly turns a lurking alligator into the dreaded and insatiable bad CGI gator. I think we have to watch this and review it on the pod.
I do too.
I'm not even sure when exactly it's coming out. I just know that it's happening and they dropped a trailer for it.
Yeah.
That's one of those so bad that it's funny and good territories.
Absolutely.
We absolutely have to watch that. Just what a title, Bad CGI Gator. They're just going all out for it. A quick one here. Apparently, we're getting Shrek 5 in 2025 because an NBC Universal employee accidentally listed the film on her LinkedIn.
Come on.
So that's a leak right there, too. It's since been removed, but apparently Shrek 5 will be coming out, so that's cool. Okay. I don't think I've seen any past Shrek 3. I think there's been a couple. I don't even know if I saw Shrek 3. But here's another fun one that we're probably really excited to see. Venom 3 got a new release date.
Okay.
I didn't even know that this was happening. The second one was genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Woody Harrelson had a terrible red wig. But Venom 3 is coming November 8th, 2024, so about a year from now, almost to the date. It was originally supposed to come out June 2024, but it finally got a new release date after the SAG-AFTRA strike. So that's great. It's about to resume production right now. Other major movies that are going to begin filming now the strike's over include Deadpool 3, which was 50% complete, so they probably don't have to do too much more filming for that one. Beetlejuice 2, which filmed for 2 days before the strike, and Gladiator 2, which had 90 minutes of filming already completed. So that's cool. Glad everything's starting to begin production again. Also, since the strike ended, apparently John Wick 5 is being written. We weren't sure if we wanted that, but
yeah,
if they do it and they do it well, I'm okay with it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then the last thing here, Elon Musk biopic. So it's going to be in the works at A24 with Darren Aronofsky set to direct. As we know, he's known for The Whale, Mother, Black Swan, The Wrestler, and Requiem for a Dream. So those are all pretty prestige, good movies done by him. So
yeah,
this might be an interesting one. I mean, I don't know how interesting it could be, though. You know, I guess with him starting, what was it? Was it PayPal?
Yeah.
So he did PayPal, he did Tesla, all that. So I'm more interested to see who they're going to have play him.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, all right, who?
Yeah.
It's just him.
Yeah, it could be. Other than that, though, that's the end of news. There was a ton of stuff that was just randomly spread out throughout the week that I tried to take down, but then the actor strike came to an end, and that really kind of took over.
Very nice. Well, hopefully that means movies start getting pumped out a bit more. I know that the writer's strike has been done technically for a bit, but you know, it might take a little bit for them to get back to work, and they can only blame so much on these strikes for putting out kind of mediocre films.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm glad for that to not be an excuse anymore.
Yep, definitely.
But awesome. Let's get into it, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit with The Killer. So let's go spoiler list to start. And I'll just kick it off a little. I don't know if hot's the right word. It might be. This movie has a 7 out of 10 currently on IMDb, a 72 Metacritic score. I'm assuming the critics love it on Rotten Tomatoes.
85% critic approval and 65 audience.
Fuck all that. I was bored out of my mind.
Absolutely hated this movie. I hated it.
Like, I don't understand all of the praise.
No, I couldn't wait to watch this movie. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Dude, This was genuinely one of the most boring movies I've ever seen.
It was, and thought it was hilarious that in the first 5 minutes of the movie, he says that. He said, if you can't handle the boredom, this isn't for you. We didn't know he was talking about the fucking movie itself,
No,
but my
yeah,
God, did nothing happen.
absolutely nothing happened. You don't give enough of a shit about this character for anything that he does or anything
No,
that takes place in the movie, which turns out isn't much. It's a whole lot of walking around and just not doing a lot of shit. Uh, yeah, what a letdown. I think just because we were so excited for this one, David Fincher coming straight to Netflix.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, just what a letdown. The best part of the movie is the first 20 minutes, and then that's it.
100%. And honestly, even then, you know, the first scene is so long,
It
and
is.
it's just him fucking doing yoga.
Yep.
But
Him doing
but
yoga.
like all I got from this movie, and a lot of what they do is they don't hold your hand and try to explain everything. Like they don't explicitly say why he's doing the things he's doing.
Right.
It's not difficult to piece together, but at the same time, do something, because I don't know, 70%, not that much, maybe 40% of the lines of the script is him repeating the same shit, the same
Exactly. And
internal monologue.
it drove me insane.
And apparently, the whole thing he's saying is to how to lead himself to success. He's fucking awful at what he does.
He's
Apparently.
a terrible fucking he's a terrible assassin.
So
Let's just jump right into spoilers real quick, because
yeah.
I just want to. It's available on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, A, don't waste your time, and B, here comes a spoiler. This guy's supposed to be some fucking stone cold assassin killer.
Yeah.
You'd think he's good at his job based on all this bullshit in the beginning. He fucking completely just misses his shot and blows a chick's back out trying to shoot a guy. He had so many opportunities to shoot the guy in the face before she walked in front of the gun.
Yeah, just completely destroys a hooker. And
like completely just blew her away.
It's a 15-20 minute lead up of him saying like all of his rules to make him a good assassin. Yeah. And then he fucks up
immediately.
And I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh or not.
I know, I did. I mean, it was terrible, but it was like, holy shit, I didn't expect that. I thought, okay, we're gonna get to see Michael Fassbender being a badass assassin this whole movie. Absolutely not the case at all.
The most high adrenaline part of this film is when he's riding away on a goddamn scooter.
Yep, exactly.
So it was bad. It's almost 2 hours. It's not even 2 hours, but it felt so long.
So long. Holy shit. I didn't realize that was the runtime.
I had to stop. I stopped with maybe an hour left and went to bed.
I was going to go to bed. I was so close to falling asleep so many times during this movie last night. I watched it with Tay, her brother, and his fiance. And all of us at the end could not be more clear in how much we hated this movie and how boring it was. Mm-hmm. And that's usually not the case. Usually I'll like a movie better than some of them would or anything like that. No, we were all just in a unanimous agreement that this movie was just so boring. It just completely fell off a cliff after, like we said, the botched assassination and then the getaway. It just became something completely different than what we expected.
It was just such a shame. And, going into watching it with other people, I watched it with Sophie. We watched the first hour and then I stopped it. And she's like, she didn't think I was even going to bother finishing it.
Yeah.
And then the next day we sat down to watch it again. She fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I just finished it. And she actually asked me, she's like, are you going to finish the movie? I'm like, I did. You fell asleep. And I'm like, she's like, did it get better? I was like, nope. So, man, what a disappointment. If we didn't have the expectations we did for it, it wouldn't hurt this much.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we thought Fincher and Fassbender, that was going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Fassbender's dialogue just fell completely flat. The repetitiveness. It was literally like a robot, which, I mean, I kind of get if you're like an assassin. You need to have that. But
if you're a good assassin.
Right. And his intentions and his actions in this movie, they're not justified at all. What they do, they roughed his wife up because he fucked up killing somebody. He killed an innocent person. That's on him. So good. Okay, they fucked his wife up. They didn't completely kill her or anything like that. They could have just fucking killed her and burned the house down or something. And then I could see him wanting to go John Wick on them and get revenge or whatever. They just beat the shit out of his mate. I don't know if it's his wife, his girlfriend.
I don't think it was his wife.
Yeah. So they just beat the shit out of her in his home, and he goes and kills a couple people. And then he goes right back to the house in the end with her, and
Yeah,
it's
it
fine.
doesn't even move. Like anyone can find out where he is because he's in the same goddamn place.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was extremely poor writing. Like I sure. I'm like, all right, assassin. Someone wronged him. He's gonna go fuck him up. He barely fucks him up.
No, yeah.
You know?
He
And
shot the guy with a the nail gun, made
yeah,
him
that was
drown
kind of
on his own
cool.
blood. That was actually like probably coolest part.
But when I say what I said in the spoiler list part about them not explaining what he's doing, you don't explain they don't explain who these people are he's going to kill. So like the lawyer, okay, that pieced itself together. You're like, okay, this is the guy who kind of puts the jobs together. Cool, great. Figured that part out. Tilda Swinton, her character, I didn't quite understand what her involvement was. And her name is just the expert. I'm like, what does that mean? And maybe
Right.
I missed something. I probably tuned out, but god damn, was it just annoying. And he goes and beats up, kills the guys who actually did the roughing up of his woman, whoever she is to him. And like, even that part was fucking stupid. Just breaks
Yeah.
into their home, almost gets the shit kicked out of him at first,
Yep.
and then burns down the house. And then finally he gets to the client, the guy who actually hired other people to do this, and he lets them live.
Right? Yeah. It's just like, come on.
There was no point of it. He's like, now you know I can get into your house super easy. Well, guess what that dude's not going to do? Stay in the same place. He's going to fucking move, unlike you.
Yeah, and he knows where you live too, asshole. Fuck Michael Fassbender, dude.
So,
he kind of sucks. Like, what's he been in lately that's good?
All right, let's run
take
through
a
the
deep
list.
dive. What has he been in lately that's good?
The Snowman, that sucked.
Dark Phoenix, awful.
Alien Covenant sucked.
I kind of like that movie, I'm not going to lie. But not because of him.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
He was in Assassin's Creed, which was really bad.
Terrible.
He was Magneto in X-Men Apocalypse. That wasn't horrible.
He's okay as those Magneto's, but that's literally all he's been good in. Steve Jobs he gets a pass for because he was Steve Jobs or whatever. But
have you seen
that's
Frank?
Only back in 2015. No, I haven't.
Frank was fucking weird. It wasn't bad. It was just super fucking weird. It's basically a dude with severe anxiety that he wears this big ass. I can't even call it a mask. It's basically an entire helmet. That was weird. Yeah, you know what? You're pretty right. He was in Inglourious Basterds. He wasn't a huge part of it.
Yeah.
300, also not a huge part. Man, you might be right. He might just be a complete letdown.
I think he just sucks. I think he just actually sucks. Like,
man, but why does that name just click so well? You know, they say his name, and you're like,
yeah,
oh,
and everybody
hell
thinks he's like some prestige actor. He hasn't done anything good in at least.
That's a shame.
Damn near 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's on quite a cold streak here.
Now we know.
And he's in that Next Goal Wins movie too, which
exactly. Exactly. And I didn't want to see it because Elizabeth Moss is in it. Now he's in it, and I'm like, okay, this is just not gonna be good.
I think us as a podcast are gonna declare right now we got beef with Fassbender. Fuck you.
You want to come on and defend yourself? Go for it. We'll allow it.
Yeah.
You know, like we're some fucking but no, completely disappointed. And Ty, maybe the most shocking part of this, you said one of these movies you really liked and the other one you didn't.
Exactly.
So now I am now understanding why this super secret Marvel's review was kept a secret.
Yeah, dude. This movie was a lot better. The Marvels is a lot better than The Killer. I'll say that.
Amazing. Before we get into that, Ty, I think you see a familiar face.
Oh, I do. I see Billy. Wait, so what did you end up with giving The Killer?
Oh, good call. Good call. I went a 4.
Okay, I went 3.
Okay.
I went 3. Which is, I feel harsh on it, but like, it was just not enjoyable. So I think it's on the higher end of a 3. So
sure.
I think I like it more than Suitable Flesh, but I don't like it as much as The Last Voyage of the Demeter, even, which is terrible to say. Terrible to say that out loud because I didn't really like that movie all that much at all.
And Fincher, maybe he's just been out of the game too long.
Right.
It's like, obviously he has incredible films in his resume.
Yeah, unbelievable films.
But man, he took too much time off, and maybe this relationship with Netflix sunk them.
Yeah. Apparently, what was I just gonna say? Shit. It did look really good. I will say
Sure.
the movie looked pretty good, but other than that, I didn't really care for Fassbender's performance. I didn't really care for much of anything in this movie. It was just a letdown.
Yeah. Well, with that said, let's move into the Marvels, and we are going to kick it off with a game with Billy.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
It's going to be a MCU movie, only movie. We're not going to talk about shows here, TV shows.
Okay.
So I wanted to go through, and this is completely up to date, so it will include the Marvels. The 5 lowest rated MCU movies since we're going to start with obviously the first one, which is Iron Man. So since Iron Man, which are the lowest rated MCU films? I'm going to be going based off of IMDb ratings here, the user reviews. I initially looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm realizing there's some bias in the critic ratings.
Probably,
so
yep.
I am ignoring those.
Okay, I might be able to get this without even looking up a list of the movies. So I'm gonna go Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World is 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it gonna make it in? There's a lot of crap here. No. Thor: The Dark World is outside of the bottom 5.
Oh wow. Okay. That explains a lot then. Okay,
however, if we did go by the Rotten Tomato ratings, it would be in it, but I'm not using those ratings, so it is outside. It's actually number 5, 6, 7, 8.
Number 8, okay.
Bottom 8, yeah.
Okay, it's good to know. So I'll say the Marvels then.
The Marvels is in there. It is the second lowest rated at 6.2.
Okay. Let me think. What else? Marvels. Eternals.
Eternals is also in here at number 4 with a 6.3.
Okay. Ant-Man Quantumania?
Quantumania is the very bottom, lowest rated film, 6.1.
Yeah, that movie's terrible. So what else do I need now? Just like 3 and 5 or something like
that? Yes. So technically, one of them is tied with the same score as the Marvels.
Oh, okay. Would it be? It wouldn't be the first Incredible Hulk, would it?
I'm not including that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Only counting Mark Ruffalo as the real Hulk.
Right. As we all should.
Yes.
So, let's see. Let me think here. It's not Black Widow, is it?
Oh, super close. Black Widow is just outside the bottom 5. It is at the bottom 6. It's 6th to last.
Wow.
But also technically it is tied with number 5. So I'll give you half a point because there is also another movie tied with it.
Is it the first Thor movie?
It is not. Thor is, oh man, I might have to scroll down a bit. That's actually pretty solid. That's at a full 7.0.
Wow.
So a good bit outside the bottom 5.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think which one of the ones are just like not as well liked.
My hint here is going to be that they are more recent films.
More recent, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Love and Thunder.
Yes, so Love and Thunder is tied with the Marvels. So technically tied for second at the bottom, third, whatever you want to call it, but it is tied with the Marvels at 6.2.
Damn.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You just have 5, which will have the highest rating out of all of them. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is the worst. Then tied is the Marvels, Thor, Love and Thunder. Right after that, the Eternals. And then you got Black Widow, which is tied with the last one here.
I'm trying to think. Because I know ones that I don't like quite as much, but
I think it's going to be in line with that.
I wonder.
You have talked about not liking this movie.
Is it Wakanda Forever?
It is.
Let's go. Okay, nice.
So Wakanda Forever tied with Black Widow at 6.7.
Okay.
For the 5th lowest rated MCU film.
Nice.
So yeah, that is the list. Black Widow, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, The Marvels, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. The original Incredible Hulk is in between that. It does have a 6.6 rating. And then there are some things rated lower than that, but they are TV shows. So the very lowest MCU output, we'll call it, is Inhumans at 4.9.
Oh yeah, that was like a joke apparently. Like I don't even think it was like, I think that might have been a Fox thing.
Oh,
before.
yeah.
It wasn't like, it doesn't have that official MCU stamp on it. So I know they were trying to get the hell away from that because it was just awful.
The only thing I knew about it is it had Ramsay from Game of Thrones in it.
Yep.
And then of course She-Hulk at 5.3.
Yeah. I will say that I did watch the new season of Loki, and a lot of people do like it. It didn't do really a lot for me, which kind of sucks because it was probably the best show that they had going for them.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't really love it that much. Not a lot happens.
Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing Loki rated pretty damn high. Like it might have been like an 8 point something. I'm still scrolling down, and I haven't ran into it. There it is. It has an 8.2. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people like the new season of it. I didn't care for it all that much.
Gotcha.
But something I did care for that I didn't think I was going to care for.
Yeah.
The fucking Marvels, dude.
Let's go.
So on the other hand, from The Killer, we have a movie that I had expectations through the floor with that they were so low. I expected completely bottom of the barrel Marvel, and let me tell you, that's not the case here at all for me.
Wow.
This movie's lighthearted. It's not trying to do too much like Quantumania does, and it was pretty damn funny in a few parts. Samuel L. Jackson has some hilarious one-liners a few times. I'll also say that I didn't watch the Ms. Marvel show because I didn't really give a shit about it, but I know that the actress that plays her, Iman Vellani, is actually like super passionate about the character. And I think she's even worked on like a comic of the character now, and it just completely shows. She steals the entire show in this. She's hilarious. Along with her as Ms. Marvel, the movie stars Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, who a lot of people give her some shit for too. I love Brie Larson. I like Captain Marvel, so can't give her too much hate on that one. And then Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau, who's actually, as we know, Spectrum from Marvel Snap.
Oh shit! Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And then also stars Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. So just a quick synopsis here in case anybody doesn't remember or doesn't care. Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. I wouldn't say that it's quite the universe, but sure. So it currently has a 6.2 on IMDb, as we just talked about. One of the lowest rated Marvel movies. It's got a 62% critic approval, but an 84% audience approval. So I'm pretty firmly with the audience there on this one. I don't think it's bad really at all. I mean, it's not the best by any means, but it's definitely not bottom of the barrel, like I said. Definitely right away, it's like a shame that this movie had such a bad debut weekend at the box office. It only had 47 million domestically and 41 mil globally for a worldwide total of 88.5 million. That's really bad for a Marvel movie. It's one of the worst worldwide debuts in the history of the MCU. I mean, but we did kind of expect that. Like I said, going into it, we had nothing to be really excited about for this movie, and even though it's good, it's not going to do that good at the box. In my opinion, it's good. It's not going to do very well at the box office at all. They love comparing it to the first Captain Marvel movie box office wise, but everybody forgets that the first Captain Marvel movie debuted, it did massive, but it's because it was the last movie to come out before Endgame. So everybody wanted to see how it would lead into Endgame, and it really only did at the end, the post-credit scene. So this movie, on the other hand, is coming at an all-time low for Marvel. Side note, though, Deadpool 3 is also the only MCU movie to come out next year in 2024. So they're definitely scaling back their output on that, so hopefully that'll help. But back to the movie, though. The villain's not trying to do too much. Her actions are pretty justified, I guess, even though she's just kind of generic. She's definitely not the best villain in the MCU by any means, but they don't make her to be some big bad threat to the entire galaxy like they do with a lot of them now. It's not a huge knock against it. Let's just say that. She's not terrible. The runtime is great. The movie flew by at only an hour and 45, which is definitely one of the shortest Marvel movies for sure. So it had that going for it too, which is pretty nice. Movie flew by. Um, a lot of it was just like lighthearted fun with Nick Fury dropping like some one-liners in there. Pretty funny whenever their powers got entangled, they had to go around dealing with that. A lot of it's funny too because Kamala Khan is such a fan of Captain Marvel, and like she just fangirls every time she gets to see her, so that's pretty funny too. Um, there is a lot of the Flurkins. You remember the Flurkins, Goose, the cat? There's quite a bit of that in this movie. What else? There's really not too much to spoil, but I will go into this here. So, in the end here, they saved the day, whatever. The mid-credit scene could have been a lot better, in my opinion, because it also did get spoiled online. It's already out online. But, so, in the end of the movie, Spectrum, Monica Rambeau, whatever you want to call her, she has to close like a rip in space, we'll call it. And she goes on the other side and seals it from the other side, and she ends up in the X2 universe. Same universe as the Fox X-Men movies. And who shows up to help her? It's Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Oh, jeez.
So everybody would probably expect, I don't know, maybe like a Storm or one of the more well-known actors from that movie. Nope, you get Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I guess it's because he's like the epic scientist, smart guy, but he kind of comes up to her and is like, she is in a hospital bed, so they find her up in space or whatever and bring her down to, I don't know, wherever the X-Men are in this movie. And he pretty much is just like, well, where are you from? And then that's pretty much it. So that's going to be how they end up leading some of these X-Men into the MCU, it looks like. So yeah. When it comes down to it, this movie was definitely a lot better than I expected, and I give them credit for that. The only problem is nobody's going to go see it. It's lighthearted, it's pretty funny, and Ms. Marvel steals the show. So on that, I'm going to go with a 7 on it. Maybe even close to an 8, but a 7. Pretty high 7.
Okay. So I got to say, I was shocked. You know, of course, my shock came after you said you didn't like the killer. And I thought we were going to kind of go back and forth why we liked it, why we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Completely turned that around on me. So
right,
the Marvels gets a 7. That's pretty solid for at least a recent MCU film, it feels like.
I compared it to The Flash, and I liked it quite a bit better than The Flash, actually. So
okay.
So, yeah, there's some parts where it is just hilarious. So, Ms. Marvel can't fly. She doesn't have like the ability to fly or whatever. Mm-hmm. So their powers get entangled one time, and they're just like in her backyard in Jersey. And Nick Fury's standing out in the backyard with her parents, and she's flying through the sky like to her imminent death unless they switch powers again or somebody flies to go get her. And she switches right back at the end with Captain Marvel, and Fury's just like, oh, we're good. It's just Carol, and she like falls. It was so funny the way he said it because you think she's gonna fall and die. He's like, oh, never mind, it's just Carol. We're good. There's another part that's hilarious too. What were they doing? They were in a spaceship. They were in like a passenger ship coming back from like outer space, whatever. Nick Fury and like Ms. Marvel's family, and it's like spinning out of control. And they're obviously like, I don't know, they're Middle Eastern, we'll say. And the one guy starts praying, and Nick Fury's like, "Are you praying right now?" He's like, "Well, don't go, don't stop. We need Jesus or whatever." He says some shit like that, and it was actually really funny. And then he's like, "Amen," and it was like funny. What I'm trying to think what else. So those cats, like Goose, the Flurkin or whatever, there is a shitload of those in this movie. They're in space, and then all of a sudden these like brain-looking things turn up on the ship. I don't know how or why or whatever. It's just a bunch of cats. And spoiler alert for this, they end up using the Flurkins to eat all the people on board the ship to get them all back to Earth safely. It was kind of funny. The cats just all eat like the entire crew and shit, and then they spit them back out on Earth, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, I didn't hate this movie at all.
I did hear about the cat part.
Yeah.
I obviously I didn't dig a ton into it because I wanted to hear your thoughts and all that. However, I did make a little bit of a list of people's problems with it, and I want to get your response. So before we hop into that, let's just a couple things to say here. This is the shortest MCU film.
Okay. I thought so.
Originally, it was, man, we just talked about how the Incredible Hulk didn't count, so I'm not going to include that one. But Thor: The Dark World was an hour 52, so this is less than that.
Okay.
And then this is Samuel L. Jackson's 15th MCU project.
Holy shit.
So he's really rolling in that money.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and hop into the spoilers now. If you don't want spoilers for the Marvels, this is probably, well, not probably, this is where the episode ends for you. So we will see you in the next one. All right. So I got a few notes here that I've kind of seen around as like the quote unquote big complaints about this film. You talked about one of them, which was Samuel L. Jackson kind of being his one-liners and everything. People were upset about that. They said it felt out of place and they almost don't know where his character goes from here.
I think I saw that too, and I don't know if they want him to be like depressed because of everything that happened in what show was that? Freaking Secret Wars? That show sucked. So everybody should just write that show off and just disregard everything that happened in that show because it's fuck them. Fuck that show. It sucked so bad. So he's in space with all of them and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, he's just being Nick Fury. Like every time he's what's that?
If we focus just on the films, it's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, because he's in space and I can't remember what happened at the end of. I don't know if he like left his wife or if she died, something like that. But he leaves Earth to go into space, and that's where he is in this movie. And obviously, like funny shit happens throughout the movie when you get like them all switching bodies and all that, and then so yeah, I mean, he's not like depressed and like serious Nick Fury. He cracks some jokes, like it's funny.
It's Samuel L. Jackson.
Exactly, it makes the movie better.
Cool. And then the other thing, kind of in a similar vein, is some folks said that it was too not down to earth, meaning like everything was a joke. I guess there is a scene, you can obviously correct me if I'm not interpreting this correctly, but there's a scene where Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, couldn't save one of her good friends, and then like 10 minutes later she's joking about it.
I can't remember which one she can't save. I think she can't save like people on a planet.
Okay.
I know there's a part where like they can't save every single person on this planet.
Is that the singing planet?
Oh wait, no, okay, the singing planet. Okay, yeah, they do have the singing planet. That was a little bit cringy. Yeah, that was a little over the top. Not gonna lie, that was a little cringy too. And the cats were a little bit cringy because I'm not even a huge cat guy, but it was kind of funny in that they used them to get back to Earth that way. But
gotcha. And some positive things here. I think almost everyone I've like seen talk about this movie, even if they didn't like it, they gave a ton of props to Ms. Marvel and her actress. And you said she's super into it.
Absolutely steals the show. Yeah, she rules.
Sounds like she's just like female Henry Cavill with how into the role she is.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're kind of setting up like her to be like one of the leaders of like the Young Avengers or like the whatever, because she goes and finds Kate Bishop, who's like Hawkeye or whatever the hell.
Oh,
young archer girl.
Gotcha.
At the end.
So she was also, if I remember correctly, the Avengers game. She was one of the main characters.
Ms. Marvel. Okay.
Yeah. So they've been really hyping her up for a bit here. I also obviously I haven't seen any of the Marvel shows outside of Punisher and Daredevil, the Netflix ones.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any Disney Plus ones, but they really seem to be upping her. And like if they stick with that and maybe they try to make her a focal point, they can kind of turn around the narrative that these are just poor movies.
I think they definitely will, because whenever like someone like this likes a role and does well in it, it makes the movie better. Like yeah. So that was actually fun. She had a lot of the best scenes in the whole movie. Like a lot of the scenes were her just like screaming and just like being like, I mean, she's like a teenager, so just doing teenager shit whenever she's also trying to like save like the fucking world or whatever, all while being completely obsessed with Captain Marvel. It's hilarious.
What's her real name? Not the actress, but the Miss Marvel.
Kamala Khan.
Okay, all right, that helped me find the actress. I'm trying to see if she's in nothing else. She just was straight up brought into the MCU, homegrown. and she's
Yeah,
just killing
she's gonna blow up. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it sucks because nobody's gonna see this movie, but yeah, she's quite an actress. So that's
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, good for her.
I will say, I love how the villain looked. It kind of looked like she had a shitty gray wig on, and they made it look like she had insanely chapped lips.
Yeah.
So I was like, come on, like give her some Burt's Bees for Christ's sake. Like, do something.
And who was like the villain? Like, does she have a
So
name?
her name is Dar Ben,
Okay.
and pretty much she's just a Kree like Captain Marvel is, and pretty much her whole entire like motivation for the movie is she wants to like make Kree great again. Because apparently,
Okay.
whenever Captain Marvel went there and like completely wiped out like the computer, the AI that ran the place and shit, it actually ended up like dooming the planet. From Marvel Snap 2, the planet is called Hala.
Oh, okay.
So Captain Marvel goes there and pretty much just obliterates everything. And they even call her the Annihilator because she just fucked everything up and ruined everything, which is really funny because she's like a superhero, but they call her the Annihilator. The sun burned out, so the planet's gonna like die. And so pretty much Darben, the villain, is just using this powerful bracelet that's pretty much the same thing Ms. Marvel has to use. I guess they kind of rip open. They're called jump points in the movie, but it's holes to the other planets, and you can pretty much just suck the resources out of that planet and use them to fuel her planet.
Gotcha. And actually, that leads into another thing I have heard. Is that like anytime she's apparently just like not an actual super powerful enemy, and they like whoop her ass pretty good a few times, and then anytime she's about to lose, she just dips out in a portal. Is that accurate?
Actually, like she kind of like fucks them up a couple times, which is annoying. I was like, "You're Captain Marvel. You're supposed to be like the goat, like the supreme like badass of the
Right.
MCU. And you're just getting your ass whooped by the chick with a hammer and a bracelet." But yeah, she can just dip out when she wants to, pretty much.
Gotcha.
But yeah, in the end, Captain Marvel goes and just explodes the sun and makes everything fine again. So really, she could have just done that a long time ago, made the sun, do sun shit again. And this whole movie wouldn't have happened, but
right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I know a ton of people were worried with the Nia DaCosta, how kind of, that Candyman remake wasn't great. A lot of people came in here with that worry as well. But to be quite honest, your rating, which means more than me than the overall average rating, a 6.2 is still higher than what I expected.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's getting like really like not low reviews, but it's getting like just low for Marvel movies reviews, because I think, like we said, a lot of people weren't expecting it to be good, or they're just not going to go see it. It's definitely not bad at all. It's by no means bad. And it's quite a fun and enjoyable movie.
What I worry about with a lot of things that are reviewed, obviously review bombs are a massive problem, and how do you get around it? I really don't know. But a lot of the reviews are coming from like the YouTube faces, like and I don't want to get into political, gender, any of that stuff. It's just straight fact at this point.
Right.
Where like when I'm looking up reviews, every YouTube face that has a majority male following is just shitting on this movie. And I just think that's obviously a wrong way to approach it. Yes, would I be annoyed by mass wokeness? Absolutely. I think everyone kind of can be, but I don't like going into any movie with that mindset and just already know you're going to shit on it before you even watch the thing.
Yeah, like it definitely is like an all-female cast, but they're not really pushing like the girls rock narrative in your face. They just all happen to have the same powers. Like they use them and then they intertwine, or so that's why you get the three of them, because they all have the similar power set, So yeah, I mean, I definitely get it though.
That's just like a wrong way about doing it. And this movie makes sense that it is what it is. It's female led. There's a lot of obviously great female actresses in this, but it's not like what we talked about last week with Blade, where they wanted to make a movie about Blade but have it be female led, and that just makes zero sense. That's not what this is. It's called The Marvels. The Marvels are females. Like that's how the comic had it written. It's not like they're changing things.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that it's just a problem that we got to deal with. And I think we're obviously we both have our biases around here. I'm not the biggest Brie Larson guy. I think she should have been locked in that room that she came from for a long time. But I'm still, I don't like going into films with just like a bias that shits on it, because that's not what this podcast is supposed to be.
Right.
So yeah, I appreciate you seeing this, giving the real thoughts around it, and maybe more importantly, giving a realistic review about it.
Hell yeah. Like we said, going into this, I had no expectations for this film, but I still went and saw it, and it ended up being a good thing that I went and saw because I really liked it.
Awesome. Cool. Ty, one thing that I wanted to try doing here that I'm having a difficult time with is including more streaming films, at the beginning. But the release calendar for these streaming films, like, almost doesn't exist. It's like, yeah, these are coming out eventually, and then Netflix seems to drop them or tell you they're going to drop like a week before they actually do. So I'm going to try to get better at that. But before we close out, anything else here about the Marvels you wanna spoil?
No, I would just say, honestly, if you have time, go see it, and if not, just stream it when you get the chance, because it's worth a watch.
Okay. Okay. A couple more questions. One, was the soundtrack as good as Captain Marvel?
Trying to think. There was a couple of good songs in this one. Captain Marvel's was a lot better though, because you get the Nirvana, you get the Nine Inch Nails, all that. So yeah, not as good maybe, but not bad.
Okay. Awesome. And then, would you put this above Captain Marvel?
I think I would maybe. Yeah, wow, I think I would. Okay. The first Captain Marvel is good, but I didn't hate that. I definitely liked it when it came out, but I was more excited for that one just because, like I said, it was leading up to Endgame.
Sure.
That first one it's really just her kind of origin story. This one's they're all kind of established already. It's definitely a lot more funny than the first Captain Marvel, and maybe not the best villains since the original Captain Marvel, but I think I might have liked this one a little bit better than the first Captain Marvel.
Okay. All right. With that said, plugging in your score here into our list of movie rankings, that does put it tied at 16th. So I don't think there's any possible way for it to crack. Yeah. It can crack into the top 5 if I give it a 10. I don't think that's happening, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's deserving of a 10, but yeah, teach your own.
So it will sit here at 16th. Just to recap, where we are still sitting. Not much has changed in a long time. We have Oppenheimer alone at the top, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, a big surprise, tied here at second. And then the other 3 here technically tied for 4th, John Wick 4 and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So tied, a month and a half left, and it'll be interesting to see if anything else breaks into this before we have our own Oscars. We need to come up with a cool name for that too.
I know, we definitely do. That'll be fun. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be fun going through these ones that we have like close. We'll have to do like each of our top 10, but it'll be fun to go through and do the ones that are really close. You got to break those ties. We got to break these ties, so that'll be fun. And then once the Oscar season rolls around, that'll be here before we know it. That'll be cool too to go through, and we'll probably have seen a lot more of the Best Picture nominees this year than we have last year.
Yeah,
just from the pod. So that'll be exciting too.
So Ty, as a group, obviously we both haven't seen every movie on this list. We have 80 films on this list that we have seen this year.
That's what I was just looking at too. So on my Letterboxd, I have 84 total that I've reviewed and 52 this year, which is sweet.
Ah, damn. Yeah, actually.
And I've definitely watched a couple more that I didn't log yet. Like I finally did The Killer and the Marvels now on Letterboxd. I didn't want you to see and fucking know my whole secret here.
Sure, yeah. No, that was fantastic. So let's see here. Yeah, my Killer's review is my most liked review, and I just kind of shit on it.
Nice. That rules.
I have seen, they're not all 2023 films. I've just kind of been watching things all over the place. I have rated 135 movies this year.
Wow. Hell yeah, that rules.
Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to our own kind of award show.
Me too. We definitely can workshop some names and ideas for that one, but that is going to be fun.
Awesome. So that is where we will close it out here. Sounds like next week we'll be talking Hunger Games.
Hunger Games and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I got to try to sneak in the Thanksgiving here. Fuck Trolls Band Together, and
no chance of seeing that.
Next goal wins. But we will see you next week with some more insight.
See you.